12HV model 9212 12-inch fan. That's all it is. It has no power. Gonna see if we can figure out what's going on with it. See if, I think I looked at one of these before, and I couldn't fix it, so I threw it away. Air King. This thing's pretty big. I got it setting pretty on my bench, and it's pretty close to the camera, so that's why it looks so huge. But you know, I got the camera mounted, so I figured, what the heck, I'll just leave it the way it is, and we'll tear it apart and go from there. But I got my power supply right over here. I got it plugged in. I got my power supply. This is a little light, just to tell you I got some power going to it. I flip it on. So that's to tell you that I got some power. That's off, on. So I do got juice going to it. Here's the plug-in for it. But this is what happens when I turn it on. All we got on the back here is off, high, medium, low. Looks like the knob looks like it's kind of melted a little. I don't know what's up with that, if that has anything to do with the problem or what, but I turn it and you can see the blade doesn't spin at all. The blade is free though, it's not, and I don't feel no hum or no vibration at all or anything on anything, so it's not getting any connection at all. So it could be a bad switch or bad winding, or maybe the plug-in is, the wire to the plug-in is bad. I don't know. We'll check it out. Let me start ripping this thing open and see what the problem is. Shut the power off first, of course. Alright, let's see what we got in the back here. Besides a lot of dust. Could be a bad switch. A lot of dust back there on that baby, huh? Maybe we got a bad capacitor. Huh. Hard telling. Let me take a little break here a second and clean this thing off so we can see things a little bit better. Alright, we got it all cleaned up. Looks a lot cleaner now on the back. And then the little cup here thing. I got our power on again. You can see little lights on here. Well, I guess I shouldn't do that. I'm going to turn that power off for a second. Okay. I was going to check this capacitor over here. Just give it a quick check. That capacitor is a 4 microfarad, 250 volts AC. I got my meter, my little capacitor checker out here. My little blue ESR blue ESR tester, capacitor tester. Turn that thing on, short the leads out, hit the on button again to zero it. And then I'm just going to clip it onto one lead of the capacitor, and then touch the other one. Hope you can see that. And that's what we get, something like that. That's awful bright, huh? No matter where I put that, it's awful bright. But that's good. I mean, any point number, that's like really good. Because this up here, probably can't see that because it's so bright. But it says anything, it says less than 5 microfarads. Wow, that's the scale for less than 5 microfarads is is way up there towards the top, and it's like it could go anywhere up to 100 on the display there, but so that's good. We don't have to worry about that. So I'm thinking we're gonna need to look into the switch. So let's try to get this all in here so we can see the switch. Well, let's just take the switch out of here. Pop this off. I did notice there was a screw underneath here, so let's see if we can get the meter in on some of the contacts on the switch. I don't know if we're going to be able to or not, to see if we're getting juice coming out of the switch. I got the power off right now, so well, I can get my meter on this red one. I can get it on the brown one. Yeah, so we can see if we get anything on those. I don't know which ones are which. I'm assuming it's let's see, on the back it should say, let me get some zoom in glasses here and I can hopefully read what it says. We got the line ins, of course, these two right here, and this bottom one right here, of course, is the common, or the ground, let's say. And this is our line in, which is going to be our hot. That's going to be split off between the 1, 2, and 3, which is probably the high, medium, and low, which starts out high, medium, and low. So that's the way that should be. So what we need to do is get our meter in here, change back to some better glasses here, put her down to some AC voltage here. I wonder if I'm going to be able to clip this on here or not. I need to get a, well, let me just see what we got going on here. I'm going to stick this, the common in that side. I'm going to turn this on high, so that's the, should be the first notch. That's the first notch. I'm going to actually turn the power on now, so we actually have power. Stick this one in here. I have it on AC. Let's see what we have here. I have 122 volts AC, so it should be sending some voltage to that motor right now, but nothing's happening. Alright, let's check the, since I can see the low, let's put it on the low. That's medium, that should be low, because I can see the low wire right here. There's 122 volts AC right there, so, and nothing is happening on the motor. So I guess we can assume the same thing for medium. Let me turn it back one. It's kind of tough there. And we'll just, might as well check the medium there. There's the medium, 122 volts. So it's getting all the voltage up into the motor, but it's not getting any power to the motor, so it's got to be something inside here. Maybe the thermal switch inside here is bad. So it looks like we're going to have to maybe tear into that a little bit more and see if there's anything we can do about that thermal switch in there. A little dirty. Got a little ball bearing in there. Or not a ball bearing, but like a ball in a socket type thing. I'm brain dead for what it's called right at this moment, but you can kind of see as I wiggle it around there. Besides a little dirty, that don't look bad, huh? It's a little dirty in here. This sits down on these marks right here. 4 of them it looks like, so that has to come out and the wires will follow. And that'll be where our thermo sensor or something is, I'm sure. I'm sure it has one in there. That could have been what was wrong with the other one I took apart, but it was such a long time ago I don't remember. I think that was before I was doing videos and putting them on YouTube. I need to clean that up a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Alright, so I looked at this a little bit while I cleaned it, after I cleaned it. And let me get rid of this light over here, because I was looking at it a little bit. And this is what I found out. I believe there is the thermal switch in here that I talked about. I didn't take this apart yet though, but there's a little plastic piece in here that I'm sure that you can see it right there. I believe that's the thermal switch, and it must be stuck open, because I have this set on ohms right now. If you stick this on our ground there, or our neutral I should say for AC circuits, this is in the off position. If I turn it in the high position, the red wire should be hot, just like we did when we actually was measuring the voltage going to it. And I don't have this plugged in, of course. If I put my meter on the hot, or on the high, you can see on the meter there's nothing, there's no reading. So it's going in the white, stopping, and it's not coming back out. So there's not a complete winding in there. And if I do the same, if I even put it on medium, there's nothing. I can't remember which one was the medium. I think it was the brown, but I'll just touch both of them. You can see there's nothing there. Low, there's nothing there. So our thermal switch is I believe is open, and that's why we're not getting no power to the motor at all, because we have no loop for electricity. So we need to take these straps off, look at that, and replace it, put a new thermal switch on there. I don't have any of, unfortunately. I'll have to look for one. I don't think I have any, but that would be the next step. So we can take it apart and look at it, but I can't replace it right now because I don't have any. So let me just let's take it apart just to look and see what it is. Get some colors over here. I'll just turn that off. We'll take a quick look. take a quick look-see in there and see what's going on. We'll be real careful because the wires that are connected to these bigger wires are really tiny. All these wires are really tiny, so we don't want to break any of those. Because I don't think any is broke right now. But these are all been heated up and everything, so they're kind of all sticking together. And I'm trying not to undo that last one there. I want to kind of keep it together. Hopefully I don't ruin any of these wires. And they have a piece of paper underneath all this stuff to keep it separated from the windings. So I don't know how it's connected. It's right in there with the white wire though. The white wire and the orange capacitor wire, it looks like. Let me get this brown wire out of the way here. So you can see there's what we got. Lift this up a little bit so you can see what's going on there. So that's must be our bad thermal switch or something. And I'll put a picture up if I can see some numbers or something on there. But I think that's what's causing our problem right there. Of course, I'll dig into it a little bit more and put something up, of course, on this video right here before we continue or anything. But hopefully I can find something to fix that, and this video can keep going on. Otherwise, it's going to end right here, and I'll let you know in a minute, in a few seconds. Alright, so I found out that is a thermal switch slash thermal fuse. It's just a fuse. It's a 3 amp fuse, 250 volts. And it's a non-resettable one, so once it blows, it blows. You got to replace it. It'd be nice if they would have put a resettable one in there. This way it would just cool down and then it would reset and connect again, and then it would be fine. It would start up again. But seeing that it's not that, it blows and then it don't work anymore, and people think, well, it doesn't work now, you got to throw it away. Well, you can buy those and replace them, or you can put a PTC in there. You can buy these things too. I mean, they don't cost that much, pennies or whatever. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to short this out across here. I'm just going to clip these leads across this component, this fuse, and I'll show you what we get for the winding measurements. Okay, so now it's shorted, so it's like it's a brand new component in there. So now when we go on, let's slide this up here so you can see what I'm doing. So now I have it in the off position. I'm going to put it on the high. Okay, so now I'm going to go, I have this on ohms. So now I'm going to put this on our common there. And I'm going to go on the red because our red is the high. And if you look at the meter, we have 46 ohms. So the ohms is going to be low for the high because that's going to make it spin faster. So, and without this connected, we've seen before that we don't get that because it doesn't complete the circuit. Okay, so once we connect this, it's like putting a new fuse in there, and we now get a connection as soon as I can get it down there. So there's that. So now let's turn it to medium, And now we'll get a little bit of higher resistance. Oops, I gotta put it on the medium. So that's 77 ohms. So that's gonna go a little faster. And then we'll put it on low, and that's gonna give us 93. And I don't even have to turn this on there, but 93. So I don't have to actually turn these. It'll read them. Oh, well, that's in the high. That's actually in the off position, so. But they're all hot, no matter where you put the switch. But that's the low. So 40 something, 70 something, 90 something. So now our electricity, our current flow is completed now. So now if I was to plug this in with this shorted, this fan would work just fine. So that's what I need to do, is I need to find a new component to put in here. I'll search around, see if I have one. If I don't, I'll see if maybe my uncle has one, because he has a whole bunch of parts. But and once I get one of those, I'll finish this video, and you'll know that because it'll follow this right about now. Hey, look what we got. Got some new parts to try to see if we can fix this fuse on here. Come in a pack of 5. Not that we needed them all 5, but so see if we can get this open, get one out. So there we go. It's supposed to be the same thing. The only difference on here is the one that's in the fan has an has a R3 on it, and this one has an M2 on it. I don't know what that difference is. If you know what the difference is, let me know in the comments. Yeah, that's the only difference. So, and I'll put that picture up here to let you see it. But yeah, I couldn't find nothing that said anything about that. So, unless I just didn't look hard enough. But we'll give this a try and see what happens. So, I'm going to work on putting this in there, and I'll buzz through let the video buzz through quick, and so you can just kind of see what's going on. Alright, got our part off. You can see our orange wire has a winding wire connected to it, and our white wire doesn't, and that's what both the legs go to. And our other wires have windings going to them, so we got to be careful not to pull them too hard or anything. And then we got our heat shrink that goes around those two. Some pretty, it seems like some pretty thick heat shrink. I don't have nothing that thick, but I got regular heat shrink. I'm thinking it might hold up that good. Maybe I'll double it up or something. This is probably I don't know what the kind this is. Teflon heat shrink or something, I don't know. Don't have no clue. But this is soldered here, so we got to get that back soldered on there when we put our new one on. Alright, so I'm going to continue on putting our new one back in here, and we'll try to get this all put back together again. Hopefully I don't break nothing on the way. Now the only thing I want to do before we go too much further is I want to check to make sure that I didn't damage any of the wires, you know, bundling this all up and everything, and I want to make sure our readings are about the same as what they were, and to make sure that we have readings. That'll tell us if I broke any of the wires or anything. So let's get our meter set on ohms again and do some checking like we did before. Make sure we get this up there so you can read it. Hopefully that's not too far up on the screen there. Okay, so we'll stick that in the common there, the neutral. We'll start with the high, and the high was 40 something. Okay, so that's good. We were in the 40s before. The neutral was in the 70s. That's in the 70s. I'm just kind of wiggling it around, but if I can get it out. Okay, there we go. We're in the 70s there. It was about 77, I think, before. So there, and now the low is in the 90 something. Yep. So it looks like we're good. Looks like we didn't break any wires or anything like that. Looks like everything is strapped down. Making sure that we made it so it was away from our why can't I ever think of the names of these things when I'm doing this? The names of motors, or parts of motors. Jeez, forgive me, I get brain farts all the time. When this goes down in there, we need to make sure everything clears it. So if you can just look straight down there, if you can see this part around here, then you know that it shouldn't be in the way of it. So we should be good. So I'm going to throw this together, and we can fire this up because the plug and everything is still on it. So we can fire it up without it even being in the fan assembly. So then we'll be good to go. Because if I can show you that it's working without being in the fan assembly, then I don't have to, or you don't have to sit there and watch me put it together. Of course, I can put it all together and show you it at the end, so that'll give you a proof that it is together. But let me just shut up and put this together for you so we can see it working. How's that sound? I'm going to pause here for a second because I'm going to add a little bit of oil down there. I'm going to clean that down there, and I'm going to add a little bit of oil or some grease down in there, because and up on the top here, because it looks like it could use a little bit. Since I can get to it, you might as well do it. That's what I say. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I ended up adding some, or cleaning this out down here, adding some oil in there. Again, there's material down inside here that holds the oil in there, and the same goes for this spot in here. Down in here, put some oil in there, and you can see I put a little bit too much probably because it's kind of leaking out, so don't need a whole bunch in there. It's running out a little bit, but alright, so I got to make sure my little washer doesn't fall off that's on here, but I'm going to stick this down in there, and I got to get this lined up. Let's put that tape on there so you can see if it's working or not. turn this in what I think is the off position and plug this in and see if it goes poof or not. How about that? Ready? It's plugged in. Let's give this a whirl here. I'm going to hold on to this. Oh, look at that baby spin. And hear the different speeds. A little noisy on there, huh? Well, at least we know it works. All right. We got the job done. So you can either jump out of this video now, or you can stick around and see the final thing put together, but that's what I'm going to head to right now. All right. That's it. It's together. Let's see if it works. Hopefully. Get some power going. Oh! Feel all that air. There's low, medium, high. Beautiful. It is back in service. Thanks for sticking around. We will catch you in the next one.